Yes, it's that time of the year again. Welcome to Archaeosoup's Roundup of 2012.
Hello and welcome to the Archaeosoup Towers Roundup of 2012. It is the morning after the night before. I've got a lovely cup of tea. It is now actually 2013 or 2013, depending on your preference. However, as is rapidly becoming tradition here at Archaeosoup Towers, we take this time of year, or usually yesterday, but there were some gremlins, to look back on the year just hence, to consider the momentous events and occasions which have shaped the year, certainly for Archaeosoup at least, and also to consider our favourite news headlines, those stories which have either tickled our fancy or have struck us as particularly important in, well, again, the year just hence, in 2012. So, just one moment. So with that in mind, it's time to celebrate the passing of one year and the beginning of a next with the blowing of bubbles, another tradition here at Archaeosoup Towers. So just one moment. Just gather my bubbles together. Whoop. There we go. That's not too bad at all, actually. So the bubbles have been blown. It is now 2013 or 2013. Let's just take a moment to think about 2012. Well, 2012 was quite a big year for Archaeosoup. Various things happened, some slightly scary things, some momentous things, and some downright fun things occurred. First of all, you may recall, very early last year, Mrs. Soup went in for her operation. It was sprung up on us rather quickly, but thankfully she made a full recovery and she actually spent the majority of 2012 in very good health. But nonetheless, this time last year she wasn't feeling very well at all. So not only are we pleased that that's now different, but also it made an impact on, certainly on my year, definitely. So that's something that happened last year. We moved to the new Archaeosoup Towers. Still very pleased to be here, and as I say, it sounds like you guys very much enjoy and appreciate the new setup. So, so long may it continue into 2013 and beyond. Also as well, actually, one of the highlights, certainly for me, was taking part in the Wallsend Festival. Now, it was great, actually, just to get out and meet people on the high street, talking to them about history and archaeology, surprising them with the fact that they lived so close to Jarrow, the heart of learning in the north of England, for so long. So a wonderful, wonderful day. And also, actually, Lawrence the Cathedral Licker came up and helped out on that day. It was great to see him, but this year has also been a great year for him. He has completed his task of licking cathedrals. No, not this year, rather last year, 2012. It was a great year for him. So superb all round, really. Many people had a great year in 2012. And the Facebook following and Twitter following of Archaeosoup has ballooned in 2012, and hopefully that will continue this year. I continue to endeavour to provide news stories and witticisms worthy of your delectation. So yeah, long may that continue. Of course, last year, 2012, saw the successful campaign to try and get a new camera, or rather a better camera, a camera which wouldn't possibly break down soon, and also an editing suite and a laptop. So that was brilliant, actually. I was really happy with the results of that campaign. You guys made it happen, and yeah, that happened last year. So again, another big event for Archaeosoup in 2012. Oh, also, yes, rather pleased to say that yesterday, just in time for the turning of the new year, some Archaeosoup stickers arrived in the post, and I was able to christen my hard hat. So this year, excavations and dig visits that I make, I'll be bringing a little bit of soup to the mix, literally, or rather a little bit of my own ingredient to their soup, maybe. Quite literally, because I've got a nice little sticker on the front of my hard hat. It's slightly sad, but it makes me smile. So that's good. Anyway, so that was basically the end of the year. Now, last night we had a wonderful party here at Archaeosoup Towers, hence I'm slightly worse for wear this morning. However, this is an opportunity also, actually, to give the festive gear one last outing. So with that in mind, I'm all festive up still, and also actually still slightly hungover from a year of being, you know, British. 2012 was very busy in terms of the Jubilee and the Olympics, yeah. So all of those things in mind, let's look back at the news headlines which have struck us as interesting, important, or just amusing in 2012. So here we go.
As always, links to these stories can be found in the video information below. Our first story comes from the 17th of January, when we remembered the centenary of Captain Scott reaching the South Pole. A very British tragic hero. Our next story comes from the 20th of February, when scientists announced that they had grown plants from fruit and seeds stored by squirrels 30,000 years ago. On the 20th of March, researchers from Yale announced the development of a new form of MRI scanning. Though dangerous for living tissue, this technique is perfect for archaeologists, or rather the study of archaeology. On the 2nd of May, we heard how finger and thumb residue left upon manuscripts revealed the reading habits and preoccupations of medieval folk. On the 6th of June, I was extremely excited to feature on Archaeosoup.com the story of Shakespeare's Curtain Theatre, unearthed in East London. The wooden O was found. On the 26th of July, we heard news of a 5,000-year-old First Dynasty solar boat from the time of Pharaoh Den, uncovered to the west of Cairo in Egypt. Next, we hear from Jindiana Bones.
Right, so guys comes Gin. Absolutely perfect. Yeah. Hello there, hello. Yes, I'm here with my festive slow gin. And honestly, I don't know what on earth Mark or Mr. Soup's complaining about. I had a fantastic night, and frankly, I'm still going. Anyway, oh yes, I've been asked to introduce my headline, the headline which I've been asked to do. And this is one which is very close to my heart. It's with regards to the brewing of ancient beer, yes. So with that in mind, Happy New Year to you all, and here's the news story. Cheers.
Oh yes, number 6. Yes, on the 31st of July, we heard of an admirable pursuit, the brewing of Stone Age beer in Norway. Fine people and a fine beverage.
Thank you, Mr. Bones. Cheers. Well, what's the next news story?
On the 8th of August came a rather interesting story. Archaeologists based in Jerusalem claimed to have found what they suspected might be the earliest ever matches. October the 19th saw the publication of a story close to my heart. Heritage Daily covered the receipt of an award by Operation Nightingale from the MOD, recognizing their work with the rehabilitation of soldiers through archaeology. Now we go to Helga, under the Christmas tree. Oh, me poor head! Now that was a New Year's to remember. Do you like my boa? I tell ya, I was looking right good last night. Anyway, my news story comes from the 23rd of October, with news that a cat found a catacomb in Rome. I tells ya, a sherry and a good pun, and you're guaranteed a kiss from me. Happy New Year!
Thank you, Helga. So now we continue with the next news story.
The 2nd of November saw a news story which really boiled my blood, with news that lawyers had chased down an academic for making use of the word hobbit in advertising a free lecture. Let me reassure those lawyers that I have seen the film, pretty good, but at no point did I confuse it with evolutionary anthropology. Breathe. The 7th of December saw the publication of my favourite news story in December, and that was that Paleolithic artists were far better than their modern counterparts at drawing animals.
So, there we have it, the Archaeosoup Towers Roundup of 2012, or 2012. Now you may notice one notable absence from that list, and that is I didn't mention the 2012 phenomenon, or the so-called Mayan apocalypse. And that's because, well, mainly I'm glad to see the back of it. We're now in 2013, there'll be no more talk, hopefully, of the end of the world in 2012. But it's worthwhile mentioning though, and the reason for this is that this is a testable hypothesis put forward by pseudo-archaeologists and conspiracy theorists. More often than not, they rely on ideas which cannot be tested and therefore build up a mythos. But in this instance, there was a very clear, testable hypothesis, and no aliens appeared, the world didn't explode, I'm not on fire right now. So in that sense, this is one in the eye for pseudo-archaeologists, and therefore surely worthwhile mentioning, but then worthwhile forgetting and going on into the new year. It's also worthwhile saying there's one headline that didn't make the 12, which I really I quite fancy putting in after I'd finished with them. And that is with regards to a medieval castle being made today. So a modern medieval castle. I just loved that headline. It's one of my favourites of the year. So for that headline, and indeed all of the headlines that I've mentioned in these 12, or rather that we've mentioned in these 12, check out all the links in the underbar below. They're there now for your delectation and delight. So, all that remains for me to say is thank you so much for watching in 2012. Hopefully you'll continue to stay with me in 2013, and together we will continue to learn more and explore more about the world of archaeology. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Go now, enjoy your New Year's Day, and also enjoy those news stories, because I've certainly enjoyed gathering them together. And it's been quite a big year. 2012 was a superb year for Archaeosoup, for archaeology, and also for Britain. So until next time, guys, bye-bye.